everyone, welcome back. The new Apex trailer came out and oh my gosh, it's incredible. If you haven't seen it, you really should watch it. It's probably my favourite Apex trailer that's came out so far. It's so good and the Revenant is in it. He looks so creepy but so cool at the same time. But I won't waste too much of your time and I'm going to go straight into this video. So this video is of course about the new trailer and I'm just going to break down some things and talk about what Season 4 might bring for us. So first of all, the new season is called Assimilation and it's coming out on the 4th of February, which is next Tuesday. So we haven't got long left until Season 4 comes out, which is awesome. So of course, this is mainly about the new trailer that came out. We first see this man who is shaving and whatnot. And I just wanted to point out there's a little Nessie behind him on the shelf. It looks so cute. It's kind of blurred, but it is Nessie, obviously. But if you don't know, this man is actually the Revenant. So in the description of this video, Respawn say that Revenant used to be human. He was the greatest hitman the mercenary syndicate ever had. But when his programming eventually failed, he saw what Hammond Robotics had turned him into, a walking nightmare of steel and vestigial flesh. The return of Hammond Robotics to the Outlands has renewed his thirst for vengeance, and he won't stop until they're all dead. Of course, he doesn't mind eviscerating a few legends along the way. So of course we already know that he sadly killed Ford, and it's probably because he was sponsored by Hammond Robotics. Obviously he doesn't like them, so maybe that was his reason behind it. He wanted revenge, so I guess he's slaughtering everything to do with Hammond Robotics. But getting back to the trailer once again, we see these concept images and I just wanted to point out how this one right here kind of looks like Revenant's character design sheets a little bit. I just thought it was cool how they've put these in. Maybe these are all the designs that the artists of Respawn have done for maybe future characters or previous ones to try and figure out how they could look, which is really cool, or they're from Titanfall, I don't know. But of course, since he's a hitman, he's after this man right here and has a very hefty bounty and of course is heavily guarded. And so the Revenant wants to pick out a P2020 because of course that's the best weapon in the game, duh. Of course it isn't. Why would you hold a P2020? I don't know. But anyways, moving on, we see the man, obviously, that the Revenant is after, and with the little girl, his daughter, and his wife. And he hands over a little metal wolf, which I believe is a sign in telling us that this little girl will soon turn out to be the next legend after Revenant, because I'm pretty sure you've seen the leaks about Rosie, or Loba as now she's being called. And maybe this is her, because in Spanish Loba actually means wolf, and the little gift that she's getting from her father is an actual wolf. So, well, not an actual wolf, but a metal one. So that's probably Loba, and in a second you'll see why we also think that. But rewinding just a little bit, we see the Revenant climbing up this building right here, and in the reflection we see his human self and obviously his robot self in the real world, if you want to call it that. I think it would be so cool if we actually saw this in-game, where we saw his reflection, but we see no reflections in-game, so that's not going to happen. But anyways, the Revenant of course has to make a dramatic entrance and just throws himself through the window. And I've got to say, he looks so cool and so creepy, but as we saw in the Forge trailer, he turns his hand into a sword or spear kind of thing and pierces a man in the chest like he did Forge. He's so brutal as well in the way that he fights. And I don't know if you noticed, but his eyes actually glowed in the dark. Which I wonder, if you're in a dark place and you're playing as the Revenant, will his eyes glow in the dark as well? Maybe your teammates can tell you if you're playing with someone. That would be really cool to see. And of course, again, the guards are heavily guarded, obviously, and they're carrying P2020s because obviously that's the best weapon in the game, as I said earlier, right? Have they got a hammer point on too? But seriously, why are they holding P2020s? But anyways, we see the Revenant go into shadow mode, which is so cool. I did not expect him to do this, and it was so cool to see. I think this might be his ultimate ability, which is super cool. However, at this moment, we see the guards shoot him in the head, and then he disintegrates. But of course, since he's like the death god, he comes back as his normal self, his normal Revenant self, not his human self, sadly, but basically murders everyone. But what I find interesting here is how the mother shoots the Revenant, but the bullet just deflects off of him. And does that mean the Revenant is bulletproof? And in a first-person shooter, that doesn't really make sense, because your weapons are guns. How are you supposed to kill a Revenant if your bullet's just gonna bounce off of him? I wonder if that's a thing or not. It doesn't make sense, to be honest. I really like his voice too. It's very fitting for him. It does sound very creepy. I don't know how many times I've said creepy in this video, but he is very creepy, and his voice just suits him so well. In the Halloween event, it was just so fitting for him. And I really like how he sort of pops his shoulder back into place. I don't know, I thought it was a nice animation detail. But right here is where it gets sort of interesting, and you can see his need for revenge, because as I read earlier for what Respawn has said, basically Hammond Robotics had turned him into the Revenant, a machine. And from here it gets interesting as to Revenant's backstory, with him being turned into the Revenant, since he was once human, but now he is this fearsome, death-seeking robot. And of course he wants revenge, really. That's probably why he's in the game, just to confront Hammond Robotics and basically murder them all. But right here we see the little girl again, with her father, who is now deceased, and mother. But from this scene it is pretty clear that this girl wants revenge, and I assume this happened in the past, so the little girl would probably have grown up by now if it was. There's a very high chance that this is Loba and is coming into the game after the Revenant, maybe mid-season or next season possibly, who knows yet. It's not even confirmed, but I am pretty sure that this is Loba. Of course she wants revenge for her parents' death, but she's just seeking the Revenant really. Unless she's trying to follow in her parents' footsteps, which is not good because her parents were bad. But anyways, that is the trailer, but I just want to talk about a few things that are on Apex's website. So, for the Revenant, on their website, they have written underneath, consumed by hate and obsessed with revenge, Revenant uses unnatural abilities to haunt his enemies and defy death. So, as I was saying about his possible ultimate earlier, that if he dies as a shadow, he would come back as his normal self. So, I guess it's sort of like he has an extra life. We haven't really seen anything about his tactical or probably passive yet, so who knows what that is, but he seems like he could be a very cool legend. How balancing would work, I'm not too sure. Will Revenant break the game? Probably to begin with, but hopefully later on, if he is too OP, they don't break him too much like they have done with the other legends. But anyways, with this new season we're also getting the new weapon Sentinel, which I'm sure you know of if you watch the dev stream, which cuts through enemies' armor before they even see you coming with this bolt action sniper rifle. And they believe that this weapon can be charged up to deal more damage, but obviously it will take longer to charge, and I believe it can sort of fire more quickly, but you'll be doing less damage. How much less, I'm not sure, and with it being a sniper, I believe it will still do quite a bit. I guess it depends on the situation as to when you'd use it, but I believe this will be more powerful than the Kraber, probably, if you charge it up at least. And of course, King's Canyon is coming back in the second half of the season, but only in ranked, as well as the new battle pass like always. But remember to log in on launch day for a free charm, which is sort of like an origami flyer, which Respawn are giving out for their first anniversary, as well as some badges and whatnot. But we have seen some changes in game right now, so you will see a few Hammond Robotics signs around, And also there is a little pylon which is sort of near fuel depots, and if you press it, it will show a hologram of Hammond Robotics. You can't do anything with it, but I believe it's to show us that fuel depot will probably be changing to a Hammond Robotics location. Maybe it's like a lab or something, and obviously the Revenant won't like that. You probably already know about how there used to be an interview set for Forge before he got brutally murdered. If you go there, there is blood spilled everywhere, and you'll see Forge's death box. And if you open that death box, there is a gun charm to remember Forge by, but it's a Hammond Robotics charm. And if you've got that on as a Revenant, I don't think he'll be happy about that. But anyways, this season looks so good, and the storyline that they're following so far is so awesome. I really like it, and I'm really looking forward to more, and also the gameplay trailer whenever that's coming out. That's going to be super cool. There's so many changes coming and new things being added, so if you're not playing Apex, you should. This will be a great time to start. But anyways, I've rambled on enough, and I'm going to end this video here. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you enjoy Season 4 when it releases. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!